Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. In this session, we are going to talk about another very important example for template driven form in Angular, where we will see how we can create a basic form submission, or you can say how we can perform a basic form submission using ngSubmit. Okay, so in this session mainly we are going to focus on ngSubmit portion, like how to use ngSubmit in order to submit your form. But before we proceed further with this session, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released sessions first, because they all are in proper sequence and sync. So if you follow it sequentially, then it would be much more easier for you to understand the ongoing topic. Because for time being, we are just mainly focusing on the examples of template driven form. But prior to that, you should know the theoretical thing that we discussed regarding the template driven form, the examples that we covered earlier. Okay, so that things would be much more easier for you. And for the sequential content, you can refer the Sharmit digital course book, which is freely available in the description box. So from there you can take a reference of more than 3000 plus free resources, which is available in both Hindi as well as English language. So as per your convenience, you can refer it and you can utilize it. Okay. Alright, so now let's get started. Here you can see I have opened my first file, that is app.component.html file, where we have one main heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit, and the second heading shows template driven form example in Angular for basic form submission using ngSubmit. Now here to perform this demo, what we will do, like firstly I'll explain you the requirement. So requirement is that we have two fields, name and email. We want to capture the data from user, and then once user click on submit button, because in earlier example we were just using the form to preview the data, right? But in actual form, like we submit the data. So here we will implement it with the help of ngSubmit. So we will create one form with two fields, name and email, and then when user hit submit button, so on the backend, on the component file, TS file, it will simply create one method. That method will be executed and it will log some information. So these things we are going to do in today's session. Now let's go one by one. Firstly, I will create a form here. So just write form, and in form you can see here we will define template reference variable. Now what is this template reference variable? This is a variable, or you can say a template reference variable, which will, you can say it is an identity for this particular form. So whenever in the application you want to access this form, you will use the form name as user form, or whatever name you are providing with hash symbol. So here I will assign a template reference variable as user form. Okay, so this is my template reference variable. Now here we will assign the value as ngForm. Now what is this ngForm? ngForm is a module that we are supposed to import here in app.component.ts file. So just simply go here, or maybe you can do one thing, like you can write, for now let's keep it as it is. I'll tell you where to add it. Okay, so just be it, you can see it is showing no directive found with exports ngForm. So from ngForm, like we have to import it. So just go there and okay, let me show it later. All part we will cover later for the component.ts file, otherwise you will get confused. And here what I want to do, I want to execute one method that for ngSubmit. Okay, and here like you can write something like this. So on submit, we will pass the user form. Here, but it should be inside a quote. I think we put it in a wrong place. Fine, so this is okay. Let me correct it. Yeah, so this is something, but you can see here we are getting error for two things, ngForm and on submit, because these are the thing that we haven't declared yet, but we will declare it. Okay, don't worry. But before that, let's design the form complete. So here, like I will create one label, the first label, and that label is for name. So I will write like this, name. Okay. Something is wrong here. Let me clear it like this. Let me write it again. And here I will write name. Okay. So name. Fine. And then we will define one. I think space is not needed. Yeah. And then we will define here the second thing, that is input field. So just write input, and in input we will write type as text. Okay. And then we will assign some name to it. So name is name itself, and then we will write here ng model. So you just need to write like this. And how we will be able to use it? With the help of forms module. So that we will add later in component file, but for now I'm just writing it as ng model. Make sure to add this line, because this is the line which will help us to capture the input. Okay. Now first field is ready. Now similarly we will add br tag. Similarly we will add further code, but with 2 br tags, so that it will break the line. And here I will add the label for email. So just write here label. Here I will write email, and after email we will write here input tag. In input tag we will write type as text. Type as text. Then we will write here name. In name we will write email. Then we will write here ng model. Okay. So these are the things that we will keep it as it is. Now the second thing is we will write here br tag 2 times. Br tag, and then we will add one button, because here we want to perform the submit thing. So for button we will write here submit just as the text, and here we will also define the type as submit. Perfect. So this application is almost ready. We just need to import the required thing. So we can see ngForm is needed, this method is needed, and also for ng model we should import the forms module. So to import all these things, let's go to app.component.ts file, which is here, and here we will define one by one all the things. So firstly I will write here forms module. So once I mention forms module, you can see one error is removed. Okay, ngForm thing is ready. Second thing is on submit. Now to use the on submit, what we will do, we will simply expand it from here, and then we will write here the method. Now to write the method, what you can do, you can simply mention here on submit in the same way where you mention there on submit. Then we will write here form, okay, colon, and then the name of the form is here I will write ngForm. Now what is this ngForm? So when you write as ngForm, it's a directive, it is automatically imported here. That means it is successfully added. And then we will use here 2 curly braces, and in this curly braces, firstly we will show one message console.log, and we will just simply show form submitted. Okay, just to make it simple, just in the same way you can write it. Now let's go to add HTML. What is still it is showing some error. Let's see what are the errors. So here I will write in the same way on submit. Okay, so there was some case sensitivity issue that is fixed now. Now we are good with the application. We have added the ng model. That means we are good to run the application. So run the application by ngserve --open enter. Just wait for a few seconds and it will open the application on browser, and then we can verify the output. So you can see we have main heading that shows Angular course by Sharmit. Then we have secondary heading that shows template driven form example in Angular, basic form submission using ngSubmit. Then we have 2 fields, one is for name and another one is for email, and then we have one button for submit. So right now if I right click on browser, click on inspect, go for console, no message is there. But the moment when I write here something, let's say if I write here text Sharmit, and in email I put abc@abc.com, and if I click on submit, you will see one console message that form submitted. That means it is working as expected. But what if we want to also show the values, like what all values are populated? So for that you can simply use the forms.value here. Let me show you how. forms.value. So here we will simply write first I will write it as a text form values, then comma, and here we will write form dot values. Okay, form values, and just save it. So after save, let's verify this thing. Here I will write again the data text Sharmit. So you can see when I write only TEC and enter, so it takes TEC and blank because I pressed enter. But when I click fulfill the data and click on submit, now you can see it populated the entire data. That means it is taking the correct data, where form submit is populated and form values are coming as name as text Sharmit, email at abc@abc.com. Clear? If you submitted blank, it will take the blank values. Okay, so this is what we wanted to learn in this session, like how to use ngSubmit to submit your form data for a template driven form. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.